Yes, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. What you're looking at there, some oxtails all seasoned up. You know we love oxtail in the Caribbean. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. You guys bring the energy, I bring the fun. How about that, eh? We're doing some curry oxtail. It was a request I got via Facebook. So search us on Facebook if you've not already connected to us. CaribbeanPot.com. Boy, it's all kind of good things happening on there too. Mako for so. Hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Give it a try. It does take some time because we're doing this on the stovetop. You can also do this in the pressure cooker or slow cooker. Either way, whatever time you have. But I'm going to show you guys how to do it on the stovetop. Let's get. We've got to season the oxtails as we've done in the past with other meat curries that we've done. And we're just going to start off with some salt. And you can add, I mean, you will know later on once you taste it if you need some more salt. Black pepper. And I have some curry powder here. So we're going to do double curry here basically. We're going to season it first with a bit of that curry powder. Later on we're going to use more of that curry powder. Some ketchup, just tomato ketchup. It's going to bring in a nice acid sort of balance to things. Caribbean green seasoning, and we will have the link to this recipe down in the description of the video. Some chopped tomato. And all we want to do now is give that a good stir and bring it all together. The oxtails are all seasoned up now. We're just going to put some cling wrap over that and let it marinate for at least 2 hours. Overnight would be even better. In case you're wondering, again, all the ingredients that we use here today will be down in the description of the video as I normally do. Or you can go to CaribbeanPot.com for those. I've got my pan heating on a medium-high heat. We're going to go in with some vegetable oil. And since the pan was already warm to start with, we have here some finely chopped garlic as well as onion. Just move that around a bit. And what I'm going to do now is turn my heat down to low as we've done in previous curry dishes before. We want to really bring out that flavor by slow cooking the onion and the garlic. It's been going now for about between 3 and 4 minutes. At this point we're going to go in with that curry powder. And we want to move that around. Again, my heat is still on low. The whole idea here now is to toast that curry powder to really bring out the flavors of the different spices which make up this curry powder. And you can certainly use your favorite curry powder. I'm using a Madras blend out of the Caribbean. Your kitchen should by now have that wonderful scent of good curry going. And all we wanted to do here, like I said, is to toast that curry to waken up all those beautiful flavors. It will go grainy and it will go darker, so that's completely natural. After about 3 or 4 minutes, it's going to start coating the bottom of your pan here, you're going to see. And you're going to get that lovely scent, as I said. Turn your heat up to medium-high. And at this point, this is where we're going to go in with those pieces of seasoned oxtail. Quick tip here, guys. You will notice I have different size pieces of oxtail. Best bet to ask your butcher. They can cut them pretty much the same size. So like this piece here, if they could cut it in, maybe into 4 pieces, that would even be better. As I add the pieces of oxtail to the pot here, all I'm going to do is toss it around just to pick up all those lovely bits and pieces of lovely curry goodness on the bottom of the pot here. So I'm going to continue adding them to the pot. I'm going to turn my heat down to medium-low. Give it a little shake. Put that lid on there and let that go for about 10-15 minutes or so. It will release its own juices. So I'm going to go all the way down to low and just let that bring out some of its own juices. If you're wondering, the same bowl that we had the oxtails marinating in, I'm going to put about 4 or 5 cups of water in here just to move it around to pick up all that goodness in there. Got a nice bubble going on there. As you can see, there's a lot of liquid release naturally from this. So what we want to do at this point is to crank up the heat back to high to infuse. We're going to burn off all that natural liquid that sprouted, and we're going to infuse the pieces of oxtails with that lovely curry sauce. Probably took about 5 minutes with that high heat for most of that liquid to burn off. And what we have here is a lovely, lovely curry something going on. Next up, now this, guys, it will take some patience. Here is where you would add it to a pressure cooker if you want, covered with about 2 or 3 cups of water, and cook it for about 25 minutes. Then turn it off and thicken up the sauce or the gravy as you like it. Same thing, if you're doing this in a slow cooker, this is the point where you'll add it to the slow cooker with some water. And I've gone in there with some diced celery. If you have some, if you've got ginger, you can go in with a slice of ginger here as well. Scotch bonnet pepper whole. We're going to get a ton of flavor from it. If you want the heat, that's when you're going to burst it open. Remember to take that out at the end. And another thing here, another little flavor enhancer I have is some pimento berries or allspice berries, and I'm just going to go in with that. And the same bowl that we had the oxtail marinating in, I put some water in there. And this is going to look soupy at this point because the amount of liquid we put in here, but we want to pretty much cover the oxtail, move everything around because you want to pick up, again, all those flavors from the bottom of the pan. Later on in cooking, when we're all done, we can remove. You can notice I used the thyme with the stem still on there. We'll remove that as well. Bring that up to a boil, put it at a gentle simmer, well, a simmer, and let that go anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours. It's been going now on that sort of gentle simmer for about 45 minutes, and I just want to quickly show you guys something. On the top here, you're going to see a lot of oil, and that is simply because oxtails are very famous for being very fatty. Though I trimmed off most of that fat, there's still quite a bit of oil. So I'm just going to go in, and you can see what I'm talking about. Go in, skim off that oil, and discard it. It's been going for just a little over 2.5 hours. I've been taking time to stir it around. I've got a nice thick gravy going on here. Guys, this is done. Remember to fish that Scotch bonnet pepper out if you don't want to burst and get all that heat. That will be a tremendous heat. That is pure fire, so be careful with that. I like finishing it off. And I have here some fresh chopped shadow benny. And that is something I just like. I think I picked that up from my mom. I like finishing off all my curry dishes with that. Turn off my heat. If you can't get cilantro, culantro or shadow benny, you can also use cilantro. I mean, it will add a ton of flavor to there. Turn the heat off, put the lid on there, stir it up, and let that shadow benny or culantro, as well as cilantro if you can't get either, infuse that dish with a little bit more flavor. Remember to taste it for salt. And I mean, does it have some rice or something ready? Friends, it was such a pleasure sharing this curry oxtail recipe with you. Whether you call it curry oxtail or oxtail curry, no different. It's still tasting good. Chris here, always a pleasure, as I said, to have you guys in the kitchen with me. Remember to click on subscribe and to check out CaribbeanPot.com for this and over 300, you're hearing me right, 300 Caribbean style dishes. Have a good one, guys.